Hello and welcome to the AMCP podcast series, Listen Up, as we take a deep dive into the challenges, trends, and opportunities in managed care pharmacy. Follow the show's social hashtag at AMCP Listen Up, and to learn more about AMCP, visit amcp.org. I'm your host, Fred Goldstein. My guest on today's show is Ellen Whipple, PharmD, co-owner, Scientific Content Solutions, and vice chair of the AMCP Format for Formulary Submissions Committee. Welcome, Ellen.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
So let's begin with, what is the format for formulary submissions and why is it important?
I'm going to give you a long answer for this. And then after this long answer, I'm going to give you a very short answer. So the long answer, since its initial release in 2000, the AMCP format for formulary submissions, which we refer to as the AMCP format, has provided a framework to advise manufacturers regarding healthcare decision-maker evidence needs for evaluating new products for formulary and coverage consideration. The AMCP Format Committee format has been the basis for the development of dossiers by the industry to share clinical and economic evidence and information with healthcare decision makers who make formulary coverage decisions. Traditionally, the AMCP format has focused on reviewing pharmaceutical products. More recently, however, the dossier, and we call it the AMCP dossier, has been expanded to review companion diagnostics, digital therapeutics, and we're going to talk more about digital therapeutics in a moment, and other modalities pertinent to healthcare decision makers. It's very important to note that the AMCP format serves as a guidance to describe the information needs of healthcare decision makers. We acknowledge at AMCP that development and use of dossiers is at the discretion of the manufacturer and is subject to their individual legal, regulatory, and compliance policies. While other value assessment frameworks exist, the AMCP format is designed to provide a comprehensive evidence framework that considers all sources of information for formulary decision-making by healthcare decision makers. So I just gave you a long answer of why the format is important. Now I'm going to give you a very short answer. Manufacturers and payers alike are very familiar with the AMCP Format Committee format. I would go as far as to say it is the industry standard. It clearly defines what goes in each chapter. By doing this, manufacturers are able to compare apples to apples versus apples to oranges. So if they have two products, they can pull up chapter 3 of each product and it will have a similar design. And the goal of doing this is to make formulary decision making easier for the payers.
That's great, Ellen, and that's a really nice description in the short one. Clearly, there's a ton of information in this thing. So when you think about the format, I understand that now we have release 5.0 coming out. What major revisions are we going to see in that?
So the revisions to 5.0 can really be put into 5 buckets. First bucket is PI decks, or pre-approval information exchange decks. For the first time ever, we're providing guidance on the creation of these PI decks. We're also discussing for the first time ever digital therapeutics and how to display health disparities. The 2 other buckets are we're adding additional information on real-world evidence, and we're talking about brevity within the document. So let's talk about these in a little bit more detail. As you mentioned, Format 5.0 will provide guidance on the development of pre-approval information exchange PI decks, while version 4.1 addressed the creation of unapproved product and unapproved use dossiers. The AMCP format for Formulary Submission Committee, of which I am the vice chair, felt that additional guidance around the creation of PI decks was needed especially considering the recent passage of the PI Act. Also, many in pharma have communicated to AMCP and reached out asking how these PI decks should be created, how long they should be, what should be in them, how they should be disseminated. By adding this appendix on PI decks, we hope to clarify issues related to the creation of these decks. As I mentioned, we're also providing a framework for digital therapeutics. And this framework will be provided for manufacturers to review clinical and economic information of the digital therapeutic agent. Similarly, with health disparities, the AMCP format made recommendations for where and when to include this information. Real-world evidence has been discussed previously in dossiers, but we're providing additional information on real-world evidence as more information than is what already is included. Finally, and this is something that's honestly near and dear to my heart because I write dossiers, we're presenting ways for dossiers to not necessarily be shorter, but more brevity in dossiers. So we're really encouraging internal and external hyperlinking. It is said in 4.1, but we're saying it again in 5.0, do not repeat information, hyperlink. Because some of the feedback we have received from payers is that these documents are just too long. So by providing these suggestions for brevity, hopefully it'll be easier to write these documents by pharma and easier for payers to get the full meaning of what pharma is trying to display in these documents.
That's excellent, Ellen. It's nice to see the PI Act covered, digital therapeutics covered, and especially the critically important area of health disparities. I understand there's also the ability for the public to comment on this. Can you provide information regarding the public comment period?
If you could see my face right now, you could see me smiling because we have worked so hard on these revisions for almost 2 years. And with that, we are so excited that the public comment will start on June the 1st. And we encourage individuals during this time to make comments. We'll take your comments positive and negative because we want this release to be the best that it can be. And if you would like to comment, and as I said, we very much would encourage you to, please go to the AMCP website and it will give you directions on how to access the document and make your public comments.
Well, that's fantastic, Ellen. Thanks so much for joining us today and providing this updated information on the AMCP format.
Fred, thank you for having me. And we are excited to receive everyone's comments during this public comment period for 5.0.
It's my pleasure. And thank you for joining us today. If you like this show, you can find all our episodes at amcp.org/podcast, on our show page at healthcarenowradio.com, or on your favorite listening platform by searching Healthcare Now Radio. You can follow our show's social hashtag at AMCPListenUp, and don't forget to share, like, and follow AMCP.org on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm Fred Goldstein for AMCP. Until next time.